You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this brief installment, Marcy wakes up from her dream car. Meanwhile, my ride is trying to knock me unconscious. If Tom and Ray can do it, why not us?
First, I want to tell you about my new wheels.
Oh,
I finally got a car.
congratulations. Yes.
And it was traumatic. It was really traumatic.
Everything with you is traumatic.
I know. My life is trauma,
Oh, boy.
which means like my next life will be all peaceful and light.
Yeah? Does it work like that?
I don't know. I don't know. I tell myself that to get through the trauma.
Okay. Well, I know with you, like you volunteer to do something warm and fuzzy, like get cats adopted. And the next thing I know, you're in like a mental hospital from the stress.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't exactly in a mental hospital.
No, but you should have been.
I should have been. Yes, I agree. And I'm sure that everybody in this house would agree.
Probably.
But yeah, I told you earlier that I wanted to get not a new car, but a different car, even though I love Duke Perry.
Yes.
But Duke Perry was getting up in age. And when I want something, I'm really focused on that thing.
Yes.
My youngest child is the same.
Uh-huh.
So Frankie finally got tired of me every night saying, when are we going to go test drive cars? When are we going to test drive cars? And I went and made an appointment and said, guess what? We're going to go test drive cars at 1:00 on Friday.
Sounds like me adopting dogs. I'm flying to LA to meet a dog. You can come or not. Yeah, I got that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came home and got me, which is an hour back and forth. Well, more than an hour.
Which explains a little bit why he didn't want to test drive cars.
Right. Well, he works 45 minutes away.
Which also means that he lives 45 minutes away from his work, but
Yeah.
yes.
So 45 minutes plus 45 minutes away, we get to the car dealership, and the car that I've just been lusting over is sitting right there waiting for us to test drive it.
Ah.
And it's what you call a lesbian car.
Yeah, the Subaru.
Yeah, it was a Subaru Crosstrek 2023, 6,000 miles on it, bright red, every bell and whistle. We were both like in love with this car, right?
Uh-huh.
We were in love.
Never good to be in love with a car, in my opinion. But then what happened?
No, and well, we had already made a pact that we had a budget, and we're staying in this strict budget and not going 1 cent over.
Yeah, I've seen you do those pacts before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I got a bridge in Brooklyn for you.
Yeah. Well, this was over, of course. It could be done with wheeling and dealing, but we stood in the parking lot and we looked at this car and we looked at it again and realized there was absolutely no room in the back seat for a baby seat.
Oh.
There was room for 4 people.
Oh.
And we are impending grandparents now.
Yes.
So it's
You don't want to put the baby in like a little trailer behind the car?
Well,
you would. Yeah, you would. Yeah.
It had a rack on the top, actually.
Well, see there, you could, if it's good enough for a presidential candidate's dog, it's good enough.
That's right.
That's right.
For a baby.
Well, I happen to know that you have left your firstborn in a baby furniture store, so I wouldn't put it past you. But go ahead.
Better than a car hood, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, there went my car. We started looking around, and Frankie finds like a Subaru Impreza that was 180 million years old, but the price of it was $10,000.
No.
So he said, let's go look at this. And it was white. And I swear to God, everybody who drives a white car, and whether you have one and you're listening or not, you drive like crap. I have never known anyone
I've never heard this theory before. I have never heard this theory before.
My mom had a white car. Does that tell
So
you
we
anything?
extrapolate from this that everyone with a white car drives like crap? This is
yesterday
news to me.
yesterday in the grocery store, somebody almost like T-boned me in a white car. Started
Okay.
pulling out without looking.
Okay. Well, you do live in the land of retirees, which includes you.
We get in the Impreza, and he looks, and it's got like 180,000 miles on it.
No,
Just
no,
why
no,
is?
no, no, no.
And we look right next to it, and there was the number 3 car on my list,
Uh-huh.
a Ford Edge, and it's a friggin' minivan kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a sedan. If a sedan met a minivan, met a SUV kind, it's really
So So what you're saying is that after years of being out of a minivan, you're about to be a grandmother and you're right back in a minivan again.
well. This looks more like a mob
Mm-hmm.
car.
Yeah.
It's a sedan, but it's all leather inside, and it's got heated seats. It does so many things. I drove it to Phoenix the other day, but the only things I knew how to do in it were turn on the radio.
So we've skipped the part where you
Put
buy
it,
that one.
yeah, we bought it.
Yeah.
Yes, we wound up buying it. It fit in our budget. Um, it's really weird because everything is newfangled. Like you turn a dial for park, drive, reverse, and all that.
Yeah.
It's a dial on the floor. So of course, I keep turning the windshield wipers on and off because I'm used to it being on the steering wheel.
Okay. Yes, it does take a long time. I test drove an electric vehicle and I just thought I better take this to some rural remote area for a while or I'll kill somebody first.
Well, I printed out like a whole bunch of stuff because they don't give you owner's manuals anymore. They give
Ah.
you a they give you like a whatever you call those things, a scan code.
And then they tell you
Which,
not to read it while you're driving, of course.
well, yeah. So I read it ahead of time and didn't absorb any of it.
Of course.
But I do know that it does a lot of things automatically,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like my computer.
Huh?
I knew enough to be able to drive to Phoenix and come home. Like I don't know how to access its memory so it knows exactly what temperature I want it to be. I don't know how to turn on the heated seats, but it was 111 down there anyway. So the heated seats weren't exactly necessary.
I got that.
It- but it has a huge back seat. It has the anti-divorce device
What?
that an anti-divorce device where you can have two different temperatures flowing out
Oh.
of the air conditioner. So Frank,
Oh. They should call it the anti-divorce
yeah,
device. Yeah.
yes. So yes, mine's turned down to like 60 and Frankie's is on 70.
Good. Because my anti-divorce device is I say, go ahead and ride your bike. I'll meet you there.
Yeah. Well, when we went to Mexico, I think I put a picture of me wearing a mask. I put a mask over my eyes so that I wouldn't say anything the whole way. But
Well, Mazel
yes,
tov. You have a new car, and the rest of us are living in fear.
but
Okay.
Duke Perry did get his final revenge on me
Oh.
when we were leaving the dealership, and I told Frankie, "You drive the new car, I'll drive my car." I like slammed my head so hard on the ridge above the window. It was a week ago, and I still have a lump on my head. And
Well,
I hit like I saw stars like in a cartoon.
well,
But
speaking of getting
yeah.
hit on the head, we this is just going to be our version of car talk. The mommy van, which I'm still
Yep.
coddling along until electric vehicles become what I consider to be appropriate for us, meaning they go more than 300 miles without being charged. The mommy van, you know those little, what do they call them? Like the little hydraulic lift things that hold the door open or allow you to close it, the
Yeah.
hatch.
I
They just broke. So if you, as my kid pointed out, that kind of defeats the purpose of having a minivan. You have to have two people to open up the back, one to hold the hatch and keep it from wonking you on the head, and the other to put whatever in or take whatever out. So the car is trying to signal to me subtly that
Right.
190,000 miles is as far as it would like to go under our stewardship. But I am going to choose to ignore it and keep going. And it remains to be seen what will be its next signal. It tried to knock me unconscious,
Yeah.
and that failed. And so we'll have to see what comes next. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.